2, live. Hi guys,
Hi.
welcome to the
Hi,
main
everybody.
TV. So we are
Hey.
super excited as usual. We are energy balls, right? I always say myself and Yi. Or
Yeah.
some of you might know her with a different name now, thanks to GD Naidu. Uh,
Ayo, don't lie. Yo.
from the last show, what can I say? So we have with us today Crystal Chan and we have Geeta Lachmandas. And I'm very excited to have both of these women here today because they are people who are extremely passionate about what they do. And I've been following both Crystal and both Geeta and trying to find out more how to enrich my life, my mind, body, and soul. so
Yeah. As spoken from our previous episode, the opening of our 2021 Me series session, we are going to kick started with our mind, body, and soul concept. So this our first episode. We have already gotten two. How do you call them? Should we call them experts? I don't know. Some people tend to find it a bit scared with the word expert, but I feel that they are really, who they embody. They are in terms of the holistic overview of the mind, body, and soul
yeah,
connectivity. That's why we had them here, right?
Yeah. You
we can
guys make
even
us sound so important.
You can see us, don't we? Look, all mind, body, and soul, everything.
Very holistic in overall.
Hi Karishma, hi Karishma. Karishma, as usual, our loyal supporter is joining us now. It's
Yay.
always nice to have Karishma here. We'll probably bring her on the next time to talk to us about our mental health and what we can do. Right? Yeah, they say experience once. Samita says elbow cough. I don't know what that means. All these young people elbow cough. Does it mean your elbow coughs at the same time?
What?
Nowadays,
Is
I
that,
cannot
man?
understand the lingo that they are all using. Okay, I'm at a loss.
Ooh,
Wow.
Didi is watching us. Be
He's
careful.
watching.
So
Scaring us.
as usual, for those of you new on the show, not to scare all of you, but if you hear this intermittent laughter off and on, I'm using those words because we're going to bring it up later, right? Don't
Yeah.
don't be shocked because this is typical of Cheryl and Yi. You will hear
Yes.
this in every show of ours. We like to
Yes.
keep it laid back and make
Yeah.
our guests as comfortable as possible. The whole
Yes.
idea of us gathering here today is to kind of provoke you and us, our thoughts on what mind, body, and soul is specifically looking at the three brains today. So
Mm.
the three brains, of course, is the mind, body, and soul. And to
Mm.
open it up this year for us in 2021,
Mm.
we have Crystal and Geeta just to kind of see what perspective they're coming from because they are actually in some of these fields and probably they have a very different view and perspective. And just to tell all of you, it doesn't really, there is no right or wrong to
Fixed
this
way, I
because,
would say. There's no fixed way on certain kind of remedy of certain kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's good to open to get as much options, and suggestions as possible. I feel right.
yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm greedy. I want to know all. I want to know all. We say with just one option, you give me all options and let me go and think which one's the best, right?
Yeah.
Hello,
So,
little laughing Buddha.
Ayo! Sharon, I'm so scared this is going to stick to me for the rest of the whole season.
sorry,
Cheryl?
I'm sorry, but it's already stuck to you. I'm sorry to say this has
Yeah.
happened for last
It's
year.
already there. Too
So
late.
anyway,
Ayo!
for the benefit of our viewers who are listening, let's get on with the show and let's talk to both Geeta and Crystal. Maybe Geeta, you can start off and tell us, who is Geeta actually, and we hear a lot that. You're a clean eating advocate. You are holistic. I mean, what does it mean? Because these are all big words for people like us. I mean, what does it encompass? I mean, what do you do? Can you explain further, Gita, and a
Okay,
bit of
yeah,
introduction?
let me do that. Okay, so in actual fact, I can't box myself anywhere because I do so many things. Okay, but basically, my learning. Oh, down. Okay, don't talk so loud. All right. Basically, my learning is that, I am trained as a holistic health coach, and I was with IIN, which is the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I did their 1 year course.
Oh.
And after that, that is actually a beautiful, beautiful course, because not only are you learning everything about nutrition, you are also learning about coaching, you are learning about the mind, the body, and the soul. And that was where I first got all my knowledge about all these three areas as well. So today I would call myself almost everything. I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I actually do have clients whom I coach how to lose weight. I teach them how to just maintain a healthy lifestyle, basically, and how to eat, because I'm also a chef. So,
Ooh.
of course, ooh, yes.
Yeah,
So
nice.
the cooking part is the one that everybody is very interested in. And I've always been very, very interested in teaching that, because I myself was 3 times my size, and I was
Oh.
able to bring myself down because of eating unprocessed foods, and proper eating does help,
There's hope for me
definitely.
too.
Oh yes, there's hope
You
for
know,
everybody.
I have
There's
to I
hope
have
for
to shrink
everybody.
back because it feels like whatever that she's saying is exactly what is hitting from my side here.
So,
Okay.
and it's not rocket science, okay? It's just some techniques and principles that you have to keep to, and you can be, and if you're sensible about the way that you eat and the things that you do, it actually is quite easy to get into good shape, and to be,
Ooh.
you know
Okay, I already have a lot of questions in my mind, but let's move with Crystal. Yay,
yes, go
Crystal!
ahead.
Who is Crystal?
Okay, so I actually come from a very, very different background. Okay, so I'm from the sales background in more of corporate environment, banks, and online companies. And I've always been interested in the health part of things. Okay, so I've always been going to the gym, trying to eat healthy, but I've never been skinny, or I've always been on the chubby side growing up,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Because
mm.
I've never been able I've never been able to find that balance. So I recently only took this up as a permanent thing because with the pandemic and all, I lost my job last year, and
Oh.
this was something that I thought, okay, yeah, why don't I try it out as
Mm,
for myself first, and if it works, I'll try it on others as well.
mm.
So for me, it's more when I say health coach, wellness coach, right? It's more on the term of nutrition,
Yeah,
right? I'm not a
correct.
personal trainer.
Yeah.
I can show you exercises to do what I do, but I'm not a qualified personal trainer. I
Okay.
focus more on, similar to Geeta, more on the eat clean part of things,
So
stuff
it's
like
the
that.
consumption into your body, lah. Basically, both of you all would be more
Correct.
towards that, right?
Correct. And what eat clean means, I don't know whether everyone understands, right? For me, it's about you having natural foods, like it does unprocessed is not good, right? So we're
Mm.
eating just like, sorry, unprocessed is good for you, right? And
Process is not good.
Processed food,
processed is
canned
not good.
food,
And you
those
eat
with the
less salt, less
uh,
oil. But
yes.
for me, I can cut off my salt and I'm fine with it already because it's something that I've been doing over the time, right? So you kind of get used to the taste. Cheryl has been my guinea pig. So but she is pretty good because even before I started with her, she had already been cutting off all the sugar and
She's
stuff like
very
that.
determined, yeah. I would have to
Yeah,
admit that as well.
very,
I
very.
think I'm sweet enough. That's why I think I don't need sugar anymore.
So I think I kind of had an idea. I kind of have an idea about our two panel speakers here and what they are really into in terms of specializing and majoring into, right? But that's the part that I'm very worried because after this I have a lot of questions because I'm like the worst person in this.
But that's what we're here for, to answer
Yeah, I
all your
know.
questions,
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I mean, for the rest of the viewers who are watching, if you have any questions as well, please do throw in your comments as well, because I don't know. I see myself as the worst student ever lah. But maybe, you know, you never know. Maybe someone here is a worse person than I am. I don't know lah. You know, so. But okay, so generally, yes, Cheryl.
No, I just wanted to say, if you know Yi from the last many
Yeah.
shows, she always that's her standard dialogue lah. So
Yeah.
don't be surprised.
I know that's not my standard dialogue, but yeah.
Okay, so guys, what we want to talk about today, right? We want to bring back what we spoke about last week as well, right? And me and Yi, as well as GD and a few of our people on the show, Anis, Ashwina, we kind of bantered a little bit of the whole mind, body, soul thing. You know, just a bit of an intro into what we wanted and why we started this whole episode, right? This whole season
Yes.
2. And I mean, we would really like to know from you guys here, right? The audience as well as our lovely guests, right? When we talk about mind, body, soul, I think Geeta and I had a long conversation about this as well, right? I mean, who is the leader in this? Who's the leader? Who's the
Yeah,
king?
I think we were
Is it the
speaking
mind? Is it the
about that
body?
last week as well, right? Like, to me, I think that it started off with the soul part, then it actually influences your mind part, and eventually the body will react according to what the mind thinks, right? But what are your thoughts about it then? And maybe Geeta, you want to start first?
Yeah, well, okay. So for me, the experience of mind, body, soul was actually, it started very much with the body. Because when I
Body
started
first.
to, when I started to eat clean, you know, what you're doing is you're cleansing your outside, so to speak. So it's the physical part of you that becomes clean. But invariably, when that happens, you will start to feel that you want to clean the inside as well. And I saw that not just in myself, but in a lot of people who went on this journey. They suddenly feel when they start eating clean, they have this yearning to also start doing meditation, start going inward. So when you want to start going inward, you know, that's when the mind part comes in.
Mind part
And
comes.
and
Eventually, it
then
will impact the soul part, right?
no, so the soul part comes when you start meditating, you feel the connection that you have to the divine and all that. And then you start feeling that you want to enrich your soul. Whenever I think of soul, I think of enrichment. It is, and in fact, I actually had created a course which was heal your body, you know, then heal your mind, and then enrich your soul. So when you enrich your soul, you bring in all these concepts of how do you enrich the soul, you know. So that is the sequence for me. So maybe I don't know, Crystal may have a different story altogether, you know.
As usual, I always have a different opinion from everyone else.
Not necessary. I thought it's that way. Doesn't mean that it is that way, but different people have different perspective, I'm sure.
It's our journey, right? Our
agree.
journey is different. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Geeta because, you know, like everyone has their own way. For her, it was that, right? For me, it was
Cleansing of
more
the body
of
first.
mind first. For me, it's always the mind first because if you think you're right, you're right. If you think you're wrong, you're wrong. It's as simple as that. Because once you set yourself, okay, let's say, you know, if you want to do something, you say, oh, I don't think I can do it. You know what? You're not going to do it.
Going to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have that mindset in place, right? So for me, it was all about, you know, I woke up one day, 22nd of October 2020 to be exact, right? I woke up from sleep. Yes, it was like an awareness, you know, suddenly.
Aha moment. Oprah says the aha
Yeah,
moment.
it was an aha moment. And I just woke up suddenly and I just, you know what? I'm fed up. I'm fed up of the way things are going. I don't like the way I look. I hate the way I feel, you know, stuff like that. So I woke up and I said, you know what? From today onwards, I'm going to be positive. So I just started thinking positively and everything went according to my way after that. So for me, it was the mind first.
The mind first. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, then you have a strong mind.
Yeah. It's
It's all
actually
about determination.
True. I mean, it depends on which perspective that you're seeing. I totally agree that there's no fixed answer to it, but it really depends on the perspective. Yeah. But the part where you say that you decided one day to make a decision to go on to a healthier journey in terms of your life, that's very, I think a lot of people can connect, especially when you say that your background before this, you have been working in sales in corporate world. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Personally, I can kind of feel it as well, because most of the time when you're working, right, there's always, also for me as well, there's always a period of time when I was at a certain age, I was working, and at a certain period of time, I start to wonder to myself, what's the point of me working so hard for? I don't know. And I start wondering, all this after work, work until late midnights for what? I also don't know. I start questioning. It's like, why am I doing so hard for this? I don't know. What am I getting out of this? I'm not too sure. The kind of thing. And perhaps those are the kind of times that you start to wonder: is there an alternative to it, right? And for you,
Correct.
Crystal, your alternative is basically to go for a healthier lifestyle, which I think that it's a good way to it. I don't know about whether I'm going for a healthier lifestyle or not, lah, but I feel I'm going for a lazier lifestyle, lah, but
Lazier.
Nice. We have a very interesting question from Karishma, right?
Karishma, yeah.
Isn't the mind, body, and soul also related to the gut? He. I hope this question isn't offensive or stupid. I don't think so, Karishma. It's a very
I
interesting
find it's a
question.
very
It's a good
interesting,
question.
right? Yeah.
Definitely, your body involves your gut. So yes, it's definitely related,
In
right?
I
fact,
think the
yeah.
names are different, right? Depends on who is writing about it. Sometimes they don't call it mind, body, and soul. Sometimes they call it the heart, the mind, and the gut. So it really depends.
Yes.
Everyone has a different perspective of how they understand these three different elements. To be honest, Geeta, go ahead, Geeta.
So I was going to say that lately, I'm sure that you would be seeing a lot of articles about this kind of thing. They talk about the three brains that we have. Okay, there are actually four brains now, I'm told.
Ooh.
Okay,
What's
some
the fourth
articles
one?
talk about fourth brain. I don't know, there's some other one, but I know three. Okay, the three I'm familiar with. The three I'm familiar with is the brain in your head, which is the brain that is based on logic and on information. The second one is the brain in your heart, which is based on your emotions, right? We're talking about EQ here, right?
Feelings, yeah.
And the third one is your gut brain. And this is the one that is instinctive, and it is, that's why we say your gut emotion or your gut feelings, right?
Feels, yeah.
Where does that word come from? Gut
Yeah.
feelings is
Yeah.
actually from that area. So there is
Oh.
a brain in the gut. Your gut knows how to preserve that, and this is where your cortisol is connected as well. Those of us who are stressed, it's always the cortisol here is that's in the gut that gets provoked.
So this is a very
So,
scientific term. Cortisol means like what? A part of the
cortisol
gut?
is the
Sorry, I really don't know.
no, it is the chemical that is produced when you
Ah,
are
in terms of
stressed.
digesting wise, is it? Is that the
Yes, no, but
chemical
this
for
is for
digestion?
stress. Cortisol is always the stress
Oh.
chemical.
Then I have a very good question asked. I would like to ask the experts, because this is personally, that's how I feel, because for those who know me, I have past history records of, I have pretty severe gastritis, as in, like,
Okay.
every time, if I skip a meal, the gastritis will strike. And I always tell Cheryl, I say that, it's so bad that, if I just skip a meal for later than an hour or so, right, it will hit me. And probably after that, whatever I consume, I'll just, purge out. That's how bad it is. So I have to go seek medication for it. Yeah. So and most of the time when I go seek the doctor, they will say, "Oh, it could be, something you ate." I said, "No, it's not something that I ate." And the usual things like the doctor will always say is either something you ate, or you skip a meal or something. So and I think this kind of applies. Then I told the doctor, "Well, what if I want to go on diet and stuff?" Some people say, "Oh, skip a meal, then you can lose better weight and stuff like that." That's the kind of solutions usually people suggest. Anyways, right? So clearly I cannot skip a meal. So clearly that doesn't apply to me. But what do you think about this symptoms of gastritis? Because I have a feeling it has something to do with stress. I feel, because
Okay,
yeah,
can I say something?
yes,
You're probably right, because
yeah,
your body is a very, very intelligent being. Okay,
mm,
look at your body as a
mm,
being of its own. Your body
okay,
knows what you need and what you
mm-hmm,
don't need. Okay,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
when you are starving yourself for whatever
yeah,
reasons, your body
mm-hmm,
gets used to it and doesn't like
yes,
it. And your body is
ah,
giving you messages and telling you,
yeah,
don't do this to me.
mm, mm,
Okay,
mm,
I need to eat. So
mm,
listen to your body. That's what I always tell people. You have to listen to your body. Your body is constantly talking to you, whether you know it or not. So,
mm,
I sorry to say this, but I
yeah.
don't think that all our doctors know anything about nutrition. Okay, they don't. And I can
No, I feel
verify
I
that.
agree
No,
as
no, no, no,
well.
no.
I
And
agree as
GD,
well.
I don't care
Yes.
what you say. GD can say what he wants. I have my own views about this, because
Yeah.
I asked many doctors and they don't
Yes.
know any about nutrition. They maybe
Yes.
spent a
Yes.
couple of
Yes.
hours in 1 year of their medical practice, where they were doing medicine, learning
Yeah.
about nutrition.
Yes.
So they don't know very much. That's why for those of us who do this course and we learn functional medicine and we learn the way the body works, we
Mm.
are just so amazed at how our bodies are so intelligent. They know how
Mm.
to guide us, except that most people just don't listen. They don't listen to their bodies. Okay?
I like that, Geeta, because I feel it's very true. Actually, our bodies tell us a lot of things, but it's like we're listening
Showing
to
signs
hard
to
rock,
us.
and we can't hear, like we're listening to like Nirvana,
Can't hear
Metallica
and
sort of
don't want
thing.
to hear. You
Don't
don't
want to
want
hear,
to
yeah.
hear.
Correct. It's the you don't want to hear because you know what's
Yeah.
good for you, right?
Yes.
You hear
Yes.
it all the time, right?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
what do you choose? You rather choose something tastier,
Uh-huh.
deep fried in oil,
Oh no,
right?
Crystal, you're hitting something that I want to ask next already. Now I'm feeling bad. I don't know whether should I ask that question now or not.
Okay.
Ask,
I
ask
want
anything.
because I wanted
Ask.
to tell you right during MCO time, like and I think Cheryl knows this very much. During MCO time, I tend to have a lot of cravings. I was telling Cheryl, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have all kinds of cravings. The last time I have crazy, massive fried chicken craving. I'm like every day I want to eat fried chicken, And then for one period of time, I was craving for pasta. There's one period that I was so craving for carbonara pasta until it's like every time in my mind, I'm just thinking about carbonara. Oh my goodness, kind of thing. So I have plenty of cravings. So what happened is that my body telling me something or what?
Okay,
Yes.
can I? Sorry, I'm going to answer that question also
Yes,
because I get it in so many people. All right,
yes, please.
when your body is craving something,
Yes,
it may
yes.
not actually be craving food.
Oh,
You think it's craving food, but in
because I
actual
have
fact,
images in my mind thinking about
no,
it.
no, it's not that. But you are disturbed about something else, and then
Mm.
it plants itself into the fact that, oh, I need food. No,
Yeah, maybe you
just
just
like
miss me. Pick up the
Yeah.
phone and talk to me. That's all.
So Cheryl, you're saying that I'm craving for fried chicken, I'll call you. Is that I'm craving for carbonara, I'll be calling you. Is that what it
yeah,
is?
maybe you'll forget about your fried chicken and you will have really be able to say
No, I tell
whatever
you,
is on your
the
mind.
only time I will call Cheryl when I suddenly have a craving for banana leaf, I'll definitely call Cheryl. I'm like, Cheryl, I think I'm craving
The
for
human
banana
face, right?
leaf.
But it's true because it could be
Yeah.
a psychological need, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Yes.
like for you, you mentioned just now about gastric also, right? So your body,
Yes.
you should listen to your body, right? But
Yes.
do we want to listen? That's
Mm.
the that's the point that that's why I said it's so important, right? That you must set your mind to things, right? Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's not about this is something I tell Cheryl all the time, it's like every day I tell her. It's not what
Ooh.
it's not what you
You
want,
want.
Yes.
It's what you
right?
need to be.
What you need. So stop being a
Ah.
baby. Just do it.
Okay,
So,
guys, just
Crystal, what do you think about the cravings part then?
Okay, cravings.
Mm.
I got a very simple explanation for it. Okay, Gita's
Okay.
point is so valid. It's so valid.
Yeah.
From my
Okay. You
side,
mean
right?
something else?
There's
Okay.
there's one very simple thing, right? Cravings for me came from sugar,
Uh-huh.
right? The
But the
moment
food that I want is not sugar. Oh.
my
bubble
dear,
tea.
pasta, everything
Everything
is
has sugar
half
in
to
it.
sugar to sugar.
Okay, so maybe I'm craving for sugar. That's that what it means?
Yes, baby. So basically, right, when you start your day off wrong already, right, the rest of the day is going to be wrong as well. But if
Correct.
you start off with the right meal, or you set your
Okay.
mind, okay, today I'm going to exercise in the morning, right?
Uh-huh.
So when you exercise, you feel good, and then later when you want to eat something bad, you'll be like, oh, but I already exercised. Maybe I should, be a bit careful with my meal.
Ah.
So
Oh.
for me, right, I love cakes, I love sweets. For the past 3 months, after I cut off my sugar completely, yeah, I've never had a
You don't
single
have
craving.
craving. Yep, yep. And
Not
that's
a single.
very, very true. Okay, if you eat properly, which means you have a proper protein breakfast, you have a proper lunch and everything, there will be no cravings. You will feel
Mm.
totally satisfied, but it doesn't even come. I can remember those days, yeah, when if I had a cake, I must eat the whole cake. Cannot eat
Same.
just a slice of cake. Okay, must have the whole cake before I be
Okay, that only
satisfied.
applies to me when it comes to pizza lah. When I eat a whole pizza. I don't eat just one slice of
No,
pizza.
but now it's totally different. When I eat a little bit already, I get jelak. Like I can't have any more. So
Okay.
when you
Uh-huh.
eat the right things, your body
Yeah.
will be satisfied. It doesn't crave. There's no craving, and that's
Correct.
proven.
Okay. So
But
I
guys,
have another
I want
question.
to hold on. There is
Yes.
a
Yes.
question
Yes.
from
No,
Christine,
no, yes. Yes.
which goes back to what you guys have
Uh,
been discussing, right?
yes.
She
Yeah.
says, "How do you know if you're
No, if
listening
you're
right?
listening. Yeah.
What
How do we know? Yeah.
if you interpret the message wrongly? Like you say, like I want bubble tea. Actually, you don't want bubble tea. You want something else. How do you
One
find
bubble,
that
but no
out?
tea.
How do you find that
Of
out?
course,
Like,
like everyone wants bubble tea, right? I want cake, I want fried
Oh,
chicken,
there's one period
right?
of time,
But
Cheryl knows I would like literally have bubble tea like for the past
I've
few
never
weeks.
even
And
tried bubble
3
tea.
weeks.
I don't want bubble
right,
tea.
but it's
Don't
not
try,
about
Geeta, don't
listening,
try.
right? Yeah. It's not about listening, right? It's about knowing what's right and what's wrong. So you
I'm
listen
going
to
to
what you
answer
want
that
to listen
question.
to.
Yeah, I think that you will know in your gut. Because if you are listening properly to your body, you will know. Don't ask me how, but I just know that you will know. Okay? So trust me
So
on this.
so if my body gives me message saying that I'm having gastritis attacks, right? Okay, that means that it's the extreme version of my body telling me that they are really rejecting
You
what
need
I've
to
been
eat.
consuming.
You need to eat at the time that you are meant to eat, my dear.
Mm-hmm.
When you eat, then your body will be happy. Because your
Mm-hmm.
body has got this thing that obviously now it's very sensitive already. So when
Yes,
you don't
yes.
eat, it reacts straight
It
away.
reacts straight away, right? So that's like the extreme version. So my dear viewers, please don't be like me. I'm already the extreme version already. So don't come to until my stage. I could honestly tell you it's not a fun ride,
No, but
okay?
my
So,
daughter has the same problem. Okay, if she
oh,
doesn't eat at a certain time,
yes.
immediately she gets craving. There are a lot of people who have this problem. So your body
Ah,
becomes sensitive after a
yeah.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Correct,
just to
correct.
share a personal
Yes,
experience, yeah, because
yes.
like me, my husband, and all, right, we all have bad gastric. He has
Oh,
even gone one step further to reflux, right? So you
yes,
have to
I
be
have.
very, very, very careful when you have
Discipline.
this because,
Yeah.
like Gita said, your body is already sensitive, right?
Mm,
You know that you're supposed to eat. Why aren't you eating? So some people
mm,
can do like certain diets like intermittent fasting and stuff like that, but some people
mm.
just can't, right?
Yeah,
So
I
Yeah.
don't
if
think
you
I
want
can.
to find that you can't, why test yourself, right? So
Mm,
like for me, what I used to go through is I used to get so bad gastric even when I eat, right? So that is
mm.
a sign that when I'm eating and I'm still getting it, that's stress,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely stress, right?
yeah,
Or it's
yeah.
something that I did earlier. Maybe I ate something that was too oily, something too spicy, right?
Yes.
Something that processed fast, and I didn't have enough of food in my system. So at the end of the day, you still need to know and manage what you're eating. Make sure that it's healthy, so that you don't have all these problems. Touch wood, now my gastric has gone away, but I'm pretty sure that if I start like slacking again and not following my eating
Yes.
time, it will come back.
Yeah.
It's
It will
something that's
come back.
already
Yeah. Correct.
and
Correct.
Samita
please
says,
don't stop me.
talking about cravings, right? She says, could it be something related to your body? What is your body lacking? Like
What,
you
in
don't
terms
have
of
maybe
nutrition
certain
or what?
nutrition, certain vitamins, maybe certain thing in your body. Could it be that the cravings related to that?
I don't know about that, but I think cravings are mostly when
Yeah.
you are not getting the kind of nutrition that your body, yeah, well, that's what she's asking, I think. Okay, that
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
body is lacking, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So let's say
generally,
I'm
if you're
hungry.
eating all the things that your body needs, there should
So I
not
think
be
the
craving.
lacking, so I think the lacking part is really not much in terms of what kind of nutrition is lacking in your body, but I think it's more towards your feeling, your emotional, that it's lacking something. That's why you tend to have craving. Is that it? Because sometimes when they say I'm depressed, I'm sad, then they have tubs of ice cream and just keep scooping up until like nobody's business kind of thing. And that could be to fill up the void in their body because they're sad, so
Yeah.
they eat chocolates and they eat ice creams. That could be due to it, right?
But that's exactly what I said to you just now. You may not be
Mhm.
eating because, or your feeling is you're not hungry for that
Yeah.
food. It's just that
Yeah.
there is something else behind it that you are unhappy about.
Yeah. So
Like
Cheryl,
in
I'm not
now,
unhappy because I don't have fried chicken. It's because something is not unhappy in my life right now.
that's where you got to figure it out. You got to figure
Step
out
by
what it is.
step.
Step by
Mm.
step.
But guys,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
when we talk about all this healthy living, right? I'm sure a lot of you have heard Crystal brought up intermittent fasting. You have the whole keto diet. You have plant-based
Yeah.
diets. You have
Yes.
this scientific diet. You
That's the
have
one that I wanted to ask the question. Sometimes when they
smoothie
go diet,
diet.
all this keto diet, all this, right, cut off like one key ingredient of your balanced diet. Like get rid of fats overall. Get rid of carbs overall, or get rid of sugar overall. Is there a proper way to it, or what?
Is that healthy living? What is considered healthy living? Is it just one of those fads? It comes and goes, and then
Okay,
Okay.
this is a very sensitive topic because
Yeah.
different people are like very fanatical about the type of diets they do. Like for
oh,
example,
So
you
we
have
don't
like pages.
particularly emphasize the diet, lah, but we say like
Yeah.
getting rid of the key ingredient of the meal, of the food platter meal we're talking about. What do you think about that?
Okay, I ask you back. I throw the question back at you. Is
Oh,
sugar
okay.
a key part of your diet? Is it something
Uh,
important that you must have?
I think that it's balanced, lah.
Is
There
it?
must be, lah. It's balanced one. It's balanced meal, lah. The balanced meal inside that consists of all taste and senses, ma. No, man.
Okay. So when we talk about balance, right, we're talking about us looking at our macronutrients, our micronutrients. We're looking that we have our carbs, our protein, our vitamins, our mineral, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sugar, yes, is a part of carbs, right?
Yes.
But
I mean, why
we
would
need,
God give us a sense of taste bud of sweetness if they have
yeah,
no sugar inside
okay.
it, isn't it?
Okay, I'll simplify this, right? Okay,
Okay.
anything we do, okay, for
Yes.
example, now you may be an Android user, you may be an Apple user,
Mm.
right? And let's say now I'm using a Samsung, and tomorrow I
Yeah.
change to an iPhone, right?
Mm.
It's going to be hard
Yes.
because
Definitely.
I need to play around with the phone. I need to get used to
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Similarly, that's how it works with us as well. When we cut out things, it's going to be hard in the beginning, but you adapt to it. You get used to it in
Okay.
the end, and
Okay.
it's as though after a while, it's nothing's missing. You get
Mm.
used to it. But
but
I
we're,
do
we're
agree.
not talking about. I mean, sugar exists in different. I mean, it exists
Forms.
in like mango and banana.
Yes.
We're
Correct.
talking
Fruit
about
sense. Yeah.
processed food, for
Process.
example. You eat white sugar, for example. White
Okay.
sugar
Okay.
might
Get
not
it.
be.
I
I'm
got
not
it.
saying like completely cut out any sweet. So mango don't eat, banana don't eat. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe
Natural sweetness.
No,
Okay.
no, but
natural
I
sugar
think
and
you've got to first
unnatural.
Yes.
be clear about
Yes.
at what stage are you. If you're a diabetic, then different rules apply. If you're a
Yes.
normal person,
Yeah.
different rules apply.
Yeah. True.
Okay,
True.
but
True.
generally,
Yes.
sugar,
Mm-mm.
because it has been hidden in so many foods now that
Yeah.
people, like kids, they can't even taste it, but they know that they love the taste of fast foods, which have
Mm.
got all these things already in them. They're
Yeah.
hidden. You
Exactly.
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are wowed by this kind of taste, where it's all fats and sugars and salts and everything. So much so, they cannot taste real food. So when real food, they're given real food, they don't like it.
So
They
your
say, "Oh, I hate
definition
vegetables."
of real food means natural, right?
My
Non-processed.
definition of real food is food that is actually as real and as close to the source as possible. Okay, that is what I'm talking about. Close to the source. That means unprocessed as possible. All right. Things which are refined will be things like where you have a lot of flour, where you have a lot of white flour, white sugar, the three no-nos in my books: white
Okay.
flour,
What's the
white
white
sugar,
flour?
and white milk. All three. If you take them out
Same.
of your diet,
Okay.
no, I'm
White milk,
serious.
white milk, I think I can already get rid of it already.
Yeah, I
because
mean, look, but now even for
dairy is
all
not
these things, there are so many substitutes. So you can
true.
always, take the substitutes. You still get your milk. You still get your. Only thing is that white sugar. There are more. It's more difficult to replace because sugar is something that you become addicted to it, and this why the word addiction comes about. White
Really.
sugar is addictive and it can create more and more craving. That's where the craving comes from. That word craving comes because sugar creates that.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
like
need to
being an addict.
understand all this, you see. Yeah,
Yeah.
when
So
you
all
are
these cravings
craving,
in my
it's
mind
because
is because of
because
that
you have
white
eaten
sugar.
it, so you want more of it. Now you want more of it,
Ah,
you keep wanting
yeah,
more of it.
yeah. It's the
And you know what's
killer.
the funny part, right? When
Yeah.
let's say like now I cut off a lot of things that were not necessary. The important stuff, yes, is still in my diet. But I have cheat days, of course, where I say,
Yeah.
oh, okay, what should I eat? In the beginning, I
Mm,
actually knew, okay, like today I want to eat biryani. And then the next
mm,
time I knew exactly nasi kanda. I knew what I
mm.
wanted. But now when
Yeah.
it comes to a cheat day, I'm like, what to eat? It's like, I'm really happy with what I'm having. And when I eat something that's unhealthy, it makes me feel sick the next day. My
Yeah,
body
really,
is
Yeah.
you
like
do.
Yeah. But I think
rejecting it already.
your
I
mental
agree
is
with that.
rejecting
When
it.
I eat one pizza already, I can feel it in my stomach. I feel not good, you know, seriously.
Oh,
So those
Guys,
of us who are a
really,
little bit more sensitive,
yeah.
straight away you will feel it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, let's bring it back to the sugar thing again, right? Tulasi brought up a very interesting point, right? She said diabetic people need to know there are traces of sugar even in food labeled sugar free.
Mm.
What's your thoughts on
Agree.
this?
It's
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a
there
very
are.
good point.
I know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, for example, even if you take onion, push laws. What is that from? The Azan is coming from
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It's that time, huh?
So yeah, you're saying about onions?
Yeah, so onions actually are a source of sugar as well. So in a keto diet, right, for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
they will have to be so strict that they will be told don't even take onions. So
They don't take fruits.
that's why I said there are certain things where your what is it that the kids all eat, the chicken nuggets, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
chicken nuggets has got a lot of things like your corn starch and your corn sugars and all this,
Yeah.
which and a lot of sugars as well in that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
No,
that's
I mean,
very
I get the part about the processed food lah. But onion is naturally the sugar content will be in the the the, the vegetable itself,
Yeah, I
right?
know,
So
but when
that's
you are
fine,
doing
right?
keto and you're restricting your sugar, you
Yeah.
have to be careful of everything.
Oh.
So you have to know that particular diet, so to speak, what exactly it entails.
Mm.
And I really, to answer that question which you asked, should you go on these kind of things? I
Yeah.
think that if you have supervision,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and you
Okay.
are being supervised by someone who knows what they are doing, like
Yeah.
especially in things like intermittent fasting and all that,
Mm.
you need to be very careful, okay,
Mm.
because you need to be supervised by a coach or a
Agree.
nutrition person who knows
Agree.
what is
An
going on.
expert who knows how this
Yes,
goes,
how
right?
how to work, and he will then teach you accordingly how to start eating how much you have to take in the first day, how much in the second day, and all these kind of things. It becomes very important.
Interesting.
What's your thoughts on this, Krishna?
Um, sorry, I'm lost. Where were we just now?
About
What was the main question again?
diet
Sugar,
and the
right?
sugar, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So sugar, right? There's it like on the label, like she mentioned, Tulasi mentioned, right? It could be fructose, glucose,
Mecca.
corn syrup. There's like hundreds of different names for sugar.
Names,
So even
correct.
when you're taking like Coke Zero or what
Yeah,
light,
yeah,
they
Coke
all
Zero,
Coke Light.
zero.
yeah,
Yeah,
they all have sugar in them. So for
of course.
diabetic, especially, you have
Yeah.
to take things that are natural as possible. Even when you're going for rice, you take the ones with lower glycemic index. That means they go into your bloodstream slower, right? So if you're taking like basmati rice or parboiled rice,
Yep.
yeah, brown rice is okay, but it's still in the mid range. So diabetics they can't just take white rice. So
Yep.
imagine when you're buying something off the rack, it's a big no-no for diabetics. Most of the time that they can't take most of the stuff there. It's better to stick to the natural stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Guys, I
reading
wanna,
the
I
labels
wanna
about it.
talk about our relationship with food, right? So we've talked a lot about the body, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, from what we've discussed, it's very certain that from the answers you guys have given and also our audience, right, that the mind and body definitely have some sort of connection, right? So
Yeah.
if we talk further about that, right, because I want us to be able to cover all the three aspects as well.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
talk about the mind body connection and we
Yeah.
look at our relationship with food, right? What kind of relationship should we have with food? What kind of relationship should we have with food? What do you guys
Healthy
think?
relationship. When you say what kind of a relationship,
Yeah.
uh, when you have a healthy relationship with food, it means that you don't deprive yourself of things that you want to eat, right? And that you allow yourself to eat. You're not always depriving and saying, "Oh, I can't. You shouldn't eat this. I shouldn't eat that. I shouldn't eat this." That already is very toxic words. You should never be saying that to yourself. You should always be feeling that you know my body is sacred to me and that I will just give it all the things that are good for it. Okay, that's a healthy relationship with food. But if you're telling yourself things like, hey, I know I should be eating this, I should not be eating that, but I should be eating this,
That sounds
that
like me, eh?
already, yeah, is toxic. That's a toxic relationship as far as I'm concerned. Because you know that you're not doing it or you should be doing it, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
it doesn't work it comes off like that. When you are it's pleasurable to you and you say, oh, I'm okay, I'm eating all this and I'm enjoying it. That's why when you're eating vegetables and all that, you must enjoy it and you must be cooking it yourself so that you can find ways to make it more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But
And
there are people who really doesn't like to eat vegetables.
Because they've been so suffused with all this fast food that they don't know the taste of vegetables. There's so much taste in vegetables if you know how to cook them.
I find it fascinating because I find vegetables are pretty okay, like quite tasty,
They are
right?
lovely.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to cook them in such nice ways. That's why I
I've
always tell
seen,
people.
I've seen people, I literally have seen, I swear to God, I have friends who are literally like that. Like, when they order a plate of noodle or whatever they order, like a stir fried noodle or whatever, they literally like took time to just pluck off every single leaf from
Green. I do
the
that.
greens
I do
before
that.
they consume. I was like, you have the kind of patience to go pluck out one by one. Why don't you just just eat it lah? It doesn't taste like any difference,
No,
isn't it?
because they want to make sure that they get all the greens out of that. That's the most
They
important
don't
thing.
want the greens. That's the thing. Like my friend literally like to pluck up because she don't want the greens inside.
Oh, I do it the other way around. I want all the greens, so I will make sure I pluck it all the greens.
She's taking her time to pluck up because she don't want the greens inside. That's for sure.
Oh, that's sad. Okay.
But
I guess it's also the way we are brought up, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
in my house, if I were to do that, my mom would have slapped me. Like
Agree
really
as well.
slap
Yeah,
me
I
and say
agree as
just
well.
eat everything. And that's
Yes,
exactly
yes,
what I do to my kids. I tell them no, vegetables are good for you, eat it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
earlier they didn't want to, they used to pluck it out. Now they just eat it and they actually enjoy it. They can eat salads, loads
Mm,
of vegetables. So I think at the end of the day, it's how we make it, right? So it's not about being a good cook or bad cook lah. Okay, because at the end of the day, like for me, I grow a lot of my own vegetables and I actually eat them raw.
Oh,
Mm.
some can be
Like
eaten
those,
raw. That's good one. I love to eat raw celery. Just
yeah,
like
exactly. You don't even need to cook it, so it's not even about cooking skill.
yeah. True.
And
Agree.
I
you
think what
actually
you
get
said
different
is true,
tastes.
lah.
Yeah,
What your body needs, your body sends you a signal. and
yeah.
and sometimes things are habitual, it's already in our mind, like you said, you grew up not eating this, so you think
But
it's
I
bad,
think
you
I
think it
agree with
shouldn't.
Crystal as well to say that it really could be your family upbringing. Like mine also, you see, at home, right? My parents insisted that no food wastage. So we try our best never to waste food. Like whatever's on a plate, right? Please finish it, that kind of thing. Because they like literally, like you see, like when a young age at time, my parents also would slap me like if I don't finish, like, oh, you have vegetable, especially I was like, I hate tauge. I was like, no, eat your tauge. I was like, okay, damn it, I have to finish eating my tauge.
Okay, it's
So
so nice.
I know when I was a kid, I also don't like tauge lah. Okay, kesian me lah. But yeah, I had a bad relationship with tauge lah. But so far right now, it was still okay lah. I just eat
Tauge
it like
and salted fish is very nice.
yes, that's true. I
Yeah, I
agree
tell
as
you.
well. Yeah, I agree. That's also very nice. But yeah, so basically, it could be a family upbringing, like the way they teach you. Like because now I notice that there's a lot of I see a lot of shows where they teach you recipes. They teach you like, oh, your kids don't like to eat broccoli, or your kids don't like to eat veg. Let's hide it inside their food so that they never notice that they are actually consuming vegetables inside. But I think that if you hide it, right, that means they didn't realize that they're actually consuming it, right? So in a way, in their mind, they're cheating them to say that actually I did not consume it, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
They'll
It's
have
yeah,
a
good for
bad
them, right? So what we do
yeah.
is we make cutlets and all that. We put a
yeah,
lot of vegetables in them. But
yeah,
because they can't be seen, but what
yeah,
those vegetables do is that they actually make a better taste, right? When you
yes,
have
yeah,
lovely stuff like vegetables inside your
yeah,
cutlets and
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
they
But
actually create flavor.
But actually, I think it's also in the mind, like you say, that there's an awareness that I'm consuming broccoli. And I tasted it. I was like, actually, it's not too bad. Instead of you cheating and lying and, like hiding it, right? Making me not realizing that I'm actually consuming broccoli. So in all my mind, I'll keep thinking that actually I have never consumed broccoli in my life.
See, but
And I
many
don't think
kids
I'll
have that psychological thing that they don't like vegetables. So if
correct.
there's
Yeah.
anything that has a vegetable in them, they may say,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I'm not touching it." Also,
Yeah, exactly. Right?
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the thing. So that's why don't tell them. Mastery is don't even tell them. You don't need to tell them anything. Just
Just
say,
eat.
"Eat this. It's lovely."
Just eat.
Okay, and they will eat.
That's like my dad when he's asking me to try some really like bizarre kind of food. Like I have no idea what kind of meat is this. He'll say, "Eat it first, and you tell me if you like it." Then when I eat it, then he'll tell me what it is, and I'm like, I regretted it because usually
I don't know how healthy that is, because I mean, like my 3-year-old, for example, right? She says things like, "Mommy, broccoli makes me strong," because like she listens to some songs that tells you broccoli is good for you. Because if you have that mindset telling them that it's not good and you're hiding it from them, it gives them that perception that this is not a nice thing. That's why they are forcing me to eat it. And I think
Yes.
we have that kind of relationship with a lot of food that we eat, because we feel it's not nice. Like, why I don't want to boil my food? Yuck! Like, I don't want to steam my food. I mean, ask me lah. Ask Crystal. Steam fish. Me and
no, steamed fish
I
is
was like,
good.
can I
I
just
love
try
steamed
it?
fish. But then
You
I'm
don't like
Chinese lah,
steamed
so you
fish.
have to
Wait,
forgive me lah.
You don't like steamed fish?
Uh,
Serious?
the,
Who
It's
doesn't
the
like?
easiest to do.
No,
the former
but when you have
the
fresh
former
fish,
The
it's
former
Cheryl,
Cheryl.
the former
oh, the
Cheryl,
former Cheryl.
only, first of all, let me be very honest, I don't eat fish. If I eat fish, I only eat bawal my whole life, right? And then I only eat fried bawal. That's it. That was like my entire life. I go now
And
eat
maybe
bawal.
Tanjiri lah.
Yeah, maybe maybe
You
to my
don't know
dad.
what
That's
you're
why.
missing.
I
Ayo.
know. Ayo.
Now she
That one
eats
I
it all.
agree. Now I
Now she
steam my fish, but my husband doesn't agree so much. Lah. He says He's like, oh, it smells so fishy.
No,
So
I think Chinese way of steaming, right? It's very simple ingredient, well. You have ginger, you have spring onion, and then you have, some drizzle of soy sauce, and that's it,
no,
right?
but guys, it goes back to our relationship with food, right? And what we are used to eating. So it's
Yeah.
not like I had steamed fish growing up as much. So
True.
it's not
Agree.
something I'm familiar with, you see.
Yeah, true.
And
I
you
agree.
brought up something very interesting. She says generally Malaysians have a questionable relationship with food because it's embedded into our culture. Everything revolves around food. And I think it's a good point because it's like, do you all realize we go to the mall to date? You eat food, you go to the doctor, on the way back you need to buy some dessert, you go anywhere. I think
Yeah.
Patrick Teo talked about this years ago on Radio 4, right? He said no matter what Malaysians do, we will end up
Eating.
With food.
gathering to eat something, and
True.
usually it's unhealthy, of course lah, but moving away from food, guys, because we've been quite centered around food, right? So just moving away
Nutritionist
a little,
food, I
right?
guess. That's why. Yeah.
Talking about our body, right? Talking about our body, right? Some people say our body is energy, right? So the chair I'm sitting on right now is energy. The chair you're sitting on right now is energy. The clothes we are wearing is some form of energy. What are your thoughts on this when we look at our body, when we think of our body, right? Do you think our body is some form of energy and it reacts, it observes, it absorbs?
This
What
sounds very, very deep.
deep?
Yeah, very
Wow,
deep.
very deep, Cheryl. Where did this come from?
My mind thinks,
Oh,
my mind
energy.
thinks very deeply. Because I mean, if I go further with this, right? Have you heard people saying your energy is out of balance? Like, the reason why you're feeling this way is because your energy out of balance. Like, if you're having massive headaches, it's because your energies are out of balance. I mean, what does that got to do with our bodies, or what does that got to do with our soul, or what does that got to do with our minds? Is there a connection? What do you guys think?
Definitely. Yes, there's definitely a connection, and it's a mind body connection. Our bodies are definitely energy. We are all electrical bodies now. Joe Dispenza has shown that to us already, that this is part of what we are. And if we didn't learn all that before, it's time for us to understand that now. Okay, and that we react and respond to all these kind of things very, very intrinsically, especially if you understand what's the connection between that. So I think that if we could have had to define something like that, I would say that yes, definitely energy plays a very, very big part of this whole concept.
How do you see this energy thing concept with, because my understanding of energy could be positive, negative, plus, minus, has to come together. Is that the kind of energy you are looking here? Or is it the kind of energy like bad juju's kind of energy, the good juju's kind of energy,
You.
like, ooh, I sense bad vibe, let's not go there. The kind of that. What kind of energy are we looking into here then?
I think it's a general energy, right?
Yeah, when we say energy, I think
Yeah.
that may be a different way. Can I say vibration? We are vibrating beings, okay? And that vibration could be a positive vibration, it could be a negative vibration.
So it's the scientific plus minus kind of thing, chemistry connects plus minus kind of thing, is it?
Yeah.
Sometimes, remember or not, the first time you fall in love, accidentally touch the hand, got static like that.
Ayo, I don't believe in that, man. That one is definitely has scientific teachings to it, okay? I'm
So
sorry to
we're
say,
talking about the same thing.
that could be a different.
The mind and the body got connection, right?
That could be a different topic for another day. But I really
That's
don't
a
believe this
different
kind of
vibration, Cheryl.
That's a more exciting vibration.
I don't know which kind of books you have been reading, Cheryl, because basically I don't believe in this kind of nonsense like love at first sight. Oh, I sense, wow, I don't believe in that actually. So somebody has to prove me wrong for it then. Yeah.
Cheryl's all about the soul.
Yeah.
No, guys,
Also,
but if we want to balance out this energy, right? Because I mean, I look a lot into this whole energy science, right? And they say that like what we put out is what we get back, right? So imagine like you're looking at a mirror, right? And it like pantol back to you, reflects back on you, whatever you say. So it's like if you insult people and you say bad things about people, it's gonna eventually come back to
Come
you.
back.
And I mean, a lot of people believe it in different ways. Like they call it karma, some people call it energy psychology, some people call it, there's different names for it, right? Or some people just say, do good, you will get good, sort of thing. Law of attraction, all of it kind of comes back to that same kind of like a understanding. But when we look at these elements, right, what are some personal practices that you guys do to kind of center, so you feel the energy is good, or you feel that that
Balance.
energy is balanced? Like, I mean, what do you do? Do you meditate? Do you like I was telling Geeta that day, for me, when my energy is off, that means I will just lose. I feel like I'm going to lose it anytime, right? I will do this. Don't laugh at me, people. I do this like
I'm really laughing.
You asked us
People
to
is
laugh.
really, I really
You're
laugh.
already going to bring us to give that energy to laugh at you, right?
so I'll just be like, like I'm like indirectly telling myself to calm down, because I can't like I did it when I was giving birth, of course. I cheerleaded myself and I can't do that in public. So I just take my hand and just do this like it's okay, calm down, you'll be fine. What are some simple things that you guys do? Maybe you can give us what you do in personally, if you have that space to go out or whatever. But what do you do when you're, especially in the presence of people, right? How do you balance out those energies?
Okay. For me, it's very simple. Okay, I have a couple of things that I practice, right? So I'm the sort of person, right, that I used to get very easily agitated and take
Oh,
things personally, right? So it may be that someone is not even thinking about you when they said something, but you would think that that's what they meant.
overthinking. Yeah.
Yes, overthinking. So now
Yeah.
I've realized that you got to let things go. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I always tell my kids, even until now, because they fight all the time, right? The MCO, we're all stuck in each other's faces. We fight with each other all the time. It's
Yeah.
horrible. So whenever they're angry, I always tell them, stop, count to 10.
Mm.
Just
Ooh.
count. One, two. By the time you reach the 10, right, you forgot what you were angry about,
It's true.
Mm.
Yep. Yep.
right?
Good.
That's one
Yeah.
thing. The second thing that I do is when I get like this is not face to face lah, but let's say I'm angry about something, right? I never react to it. I just keep quiet, and maybe like after sleep over it, and the next morning, right? Somehow you will think more maturely lah, because you will think like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't so bad. So those are the two things that I normally practice.
Mm. Interesting. Geeta, what do you have any practice?
Yeah, well, for me, I am a meditator. So
Ah.
my first instinct would be to breathe. Okay, I will just tell
Mm.
myself when I'm feeling something and I know that I'm going into a downward spiral. This is what
Yeah.
it becomes. You see, a
Yeah.
downward spiral is when your energy is getting lower and lower and lower, and you know that you're starting to feel. See, in those days before, when I wasn't aware of this, once you're aware that you're going into this spiral, you can
Yeah.
actually slow it down by
And
telling
control it.
yourself, yes, control it and start doing all the things that the tools and techniques that you have to bring yourself up again. Because vibration wise, it is never good to be in a low vibration. You have always got to be in high vibration. There is such a thing as, they give numbers to each of these vibrations, and we want to always be above 500. And when we are in 500, it means we are in joy. We are feeling all these feelings of elation, joy, fun. All these kind of things are the high vibrations. So for me, I'm very concerned about always keeping myself in high vibration. If I feel I am slowing down into low vibration, I will start breathing. I will go into meditation, or I will start doing something which makes me happy, which is like dancing. Okay, dancing, I love dancing. So I will start moving, put it on TV and start really, really dancing around.
Yep.
And then I feel so much better. A lot of people find that in exercise as well. They use it as a way
True.
to
Because
release, right?
exercising
It's a
releases
release.
endorphins. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So this is where you bring in all those your dopamines and your serotonin and all that, right? So things that make you happy. Some people find it in yoga. Some people just go for a walk. Some people go for a run, right? Jogging. A lot of people find it helps them to release tension.
I realized that usually when I'm feeling very, very stressed or frustrated, right, I usually take very deep breath and then I will exhale very deeply as well. But I think my mom always misinterpreted it, like, for Chinese we don't like to say, for Chinese they say don't sigh, don't have loud sighs, because loud sighs actually is very bad for like your cheese apparently. But I find that, but after the deep exhaling breath and stuff like that, I feel better. But my mom said, please don't sigh so loudly. So I don't know what is this understanding about. It's like you're even controlling the way I breathe. What else am I supposed to do? So yeah.
So when you breathe,
I
you're
don't know, man.
sighing, is it?
Is this
Is
a
it
culture?
a how do
No,
you
because when
breathe?
I breathe,
How
I
does she
inhale
think there
very
is a
heavily.
sigh?
I inhale. Because when I inhale very heavily, like, I do like this. So she'll be like, please don't sigh so loudly. It's very bad for the cheese. Then I'm like, okay. Already I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to control myself. I'm like, the kind of thing. And she's like, oh, that's very bad for bad cheese. That's making me even worse. It's like making me feel very annoyed. It's like,
I
I don't
think
want to explain.
she's probably reacting to the way you are expressing
Doing it.
yourself, your emotions, your facial expression. But
Okay.
I know it feels good, but maybe without the sound lah. It's just like silent one.
You need
Well,
to
then
have
if you're
your
frustrated, you have
laughing
to.
Buddha face. Xiao San, have
Yeah.
your laughing Buddha face while you do it. So
I
it's
know.
like,
If I'm frustrated, I'm laughing, right? It's going to be termed as wacko already,
no,
That's
don't
why.
laugh, don't laugh. Just have that face. So when your mom looks
Oh,
at you, she's like, okay, she looks happy. So that means
like come on, my own
Poker
emotions. I
face.
have to. Yeah, it's like I have to. I have to express my own emotion. If I need
yeah,
to cheat
yeah.
my own emotions, isn't that making it worse?
So that means you're sighing then. You're taking a breath. What are you
I'm
doing?
taking a long breath, basically inhaling
How?
heavily
Show
and
us how you do
exhaling.
it. Can
Yeah,
you
show
show
us.
us how you do it?
I mean,
Demonstrate.
that's what I do. That's what I do. But of course, without the facial expression, lah, because I'm not frustrated right now, lah. But that's what it means, isn't it?
You're too cute.
What the hell? Yeah, but I feel that isn't it breathing? It calms me down. When I breathe heavily, it calms me down.
Yeah, it
But
does. No, that's
yeah,
scientific. That when
yeah,
you actually take a breath,
yeah,
a proper breath and take it out
yeah,
properly, it
yeah,
actually has the propensity of your breathing coming down. And when it does, you feel calmer. That
yeah.
sure, it does do
Yeah,
that.
breath is
But my mom
life.
said that's a loud sigh. She said that's sighing very loudly. That's bad chi. I'm like, oh
No, but
god.
there's also a technique to that. Okay, and I think that you have to learn the
Ah.
right technique.
You
And
better
you
go
can
and
go
study, I
go
tell
to
you.
YouTube. YouTube will give you all the ways to. There's the box breath. They have different types of breath, and when you actually practice that, you calm yourself down very fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, guys, I want to bring it to something, right? When as human beings, right? I don't know if you've heard of people saying this before. We are not humans having spiritual experiences, but we are spiritual beings
Having a human
having
experience.
experiences. Have you all heard of that before?
No,
Yep.
I've not heard that before. So sorry. This is my first
So
time hearing it. I'm so sorry, but yeah. Okay.
let,
Please do
let me say
explain.
that again. Let me
Enlighten
say
me.
that again. We
Okay.
are not humans, right?
Uh-huh.
That means we are not having spiritual experiences. Some people will say, "Oh, I just had a spiritual experience." So a lot of
Okay.
people say, "Hey, we are not humans who have these experiences. We
Uh-huh.
are we are spiritual beings. It is what we are,
Uh-huh.
right? And we're having human experiences. So that means end of the day, people are saying we are beings, lah. We're spiritual beings.
Mm.
Uh,
Confusing.
I'm
Okay, she's
imagining it this
scratching her
way.
head.
Yeah, I'm imagining it this way. That what you're trying to say is basically this body is a vessel. So the spirit went into this vessel and just to experience human experiences. And eventually, after we kaput and we die, then the spirits will move away from this vessel and find another vessel. Is that what you're
Cikgu
saying?
ini sangat pandai. A
Ah.
plus.
Cikgu, ini bukan cikgu. Ini sekarang ialah student. Trying to digest understanding.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this?
Yes, definitely that we
If you
are
believe, yeah.
okay. You say if you believe, but now the science is such. I mean, otherwise there would not be life after death. There would
Yeah.
not be this thing that you can feel God, right? Why are you able to do that? Because God is a spiritual being. He's not just a human being. So we have all these definitions, right? That
Yeah.
uh, we are in bodily form now, but we are actually spirits in a body form. So this
Yeah.
is just a form, and after that, we will live forever. And that's how this thing about karma and
The cycle of life and stuff like that.
reincarnation and all these
Yes.
concepts
Yes.
come in.
Yes.
Which we will talk about in our next few shows. We have interesting things up for y'all. But guys, just
So what do you
because
think about that, Crystal?
I believe it, but I just don't know how to explain it. It's something
Uh-huh.
that it's true, but I just can't explain it.
I
Something
think it's very
that
I
complex.
mean, like
it's very complex.
yeah.
Yeah.
To finish off myself, because I was trying to say that if you believe in reincarnation, if you believe in this whole thing of reincarnating and stuff like that, then perhaps this will be a better form of application.
Do you
Because
believe in it? Do you believe in it at
for
all?
me, I believe lah, I do.
You
But
do.
I do know that there are people who don't believe in it. Like they believe that after you die, basically. So I do not know. That's not what I believe in. I believe in reincarnation, and I do believe in karma as well. So that's why this is something that I do believe in. You know,
Mm.
yeah. But it's like different people may not believe in that. So I quite interesting to hear from people who actually don't believe in it and what they see, because I think they see things very differently, and the way they live it will be very differently as well, because to them this life is your only life. So the way they think, the way they do play actions, and the way they take actions to things, they think that this is my only chance, because after this there's no other chances. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
Because
we've left everybody like,
like very, very
Too deep
tall,
already.
like too deep lah.
Too deep,
I will have to digest. I have to like, oh, let me think. Is this what you mean? But what about if you, for example, if you believe in this kind of thing, like as a spiritual being in this vessel, right? So what happens if you, because does this connect to when you dream then? When you sleep and you dream, so does that actually means that your spirit is leaving to connect with the higher being? I don't know, man, because I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to like connect the dots and see where am I heading to right now,
don't
But is
worry. The next few shows we'll bring in more experts in those areas and let them explain the technical side to
okay.
us.
So I think I will take this question and keep it to my pocket first. I will keep it in my pocket for the next person to answer this question.
Okay, GD has said something. What did he say?
Wow.
The universe does not know whether the vibration that you're offering is because of something you're observing, or something you're remembering, or something that you're imagining.
Wow, very long to digest. Wait, I'm very slow. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Whether the question you're offering is because of something that you observe.
It's basically past, present, or future lah. Something you're
Oh.
remembering, something that's happening now, or something that's going to happen. In summary.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay,
So
so the
Right.
energy doesn't connect to you unless you are aware of what you are aware of your actions in the past and your current present actions that you are doing lah.
in other words, you can actually trick the universe, because if you pretend that you are actually going through, let's say you want success in your career, okay? And you can visualize that completely, and you can actually feel the feelings that you have, that you would feel if you're successful. So then you create that for yourself. So you create your own reality. That's how these words come about.
So this
Because
is
when
what
you
it
do
means
that,
as a law of attraction, lah, basically.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So it is
Ah,
law of attraction in practice, you know. Because the
ah.
universe doesn't know that. You can actually, so it all depends on you, lah, you know, basically. It's how you
I
I
like
have
what
to.
Tulasi says.
I
I
think so
think
too.
so too, Didi. Universe just gets the vibration, not the reason behind it. Why you feel that way? They're not going to ask you. They're just going to go like, oh, you asked for it, I'll give it to you.
yeah,
You want to
absolutely.
fall down as you go to graduate, and you know how people like to when they're graduating, they're holding their topi and walking, and then they
Uh,
like, I'm gonna fall. Then you wonder why you fall, right? So
uh-huh.
it's like
Ah,
it's like that.
okay, okay. But
It's like
I
that.
don't know. I see this perspective in a more, I'm sorry to say that, in a more shallow perspective, lah. I'm not looking into a very kind of like a law of attraction, a gravity or vibration kind of perspective. I'm just saying it's the power of the mind. It's like your power of the mind kind of really channels what is happening to yourself, your life, and your body, basically. Because
Correct.
it's like, I think I mentioned it the last session as well. I said, if you are in your mind, if the doctor prescribed you and said, I'm so sorry, you only have, 5 more months to live. If that already you have digested into your mind and you presume that I'm just going to live for another 5 months, eventually you will eventually just live until 5 months because you truly believe that you're living until 5 months. But if your mindset, you're saying that there's hope for it, I'm going to live for until 5 years, and you're trying to strive for it, the power of the mind will convince your body to say that there's no illness in you, that you will survive for that 5 years. I think it's really the power of the mind that's giving out this
Correct.
kind of.
Hence
Yeah,
the mind,
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
body, and the soul, right? It's
Yes.
all it's all kind of connected. Guys, I really wish we could continue, but it's already 1 hour, 7 minutes,
How
and
time
you know,
flies, right? We were
Yeah.
having
it's a
fun.
very it's a very
When you're
interesting
having
discussion.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I guess we will revisit this again, and maybe next time we will look more deeply into a specific area. So just to let all our audiences know before our audience leave, because we've already hit 1 hour, right? So as promised, next session, which will be in 2 weeks' time, I will reveal the dates very soon. I believe it's on the 2nd of March. We are going to have someone come in to talk to us about spiritual healing. All right. Someone's going to come and talk to us about spiritual healing. It's a very unique and new concept to me as well. But I thought it'd be interesting for us to kind of look at these different kind of elements. So one of the things we're going to look at is spiritual healing, and upcoming ones we're going to be looking at cut, uh, decluttering the mind.
Decluttering.
So yeah,
Decluttering
yeah.
the
Decluttering.
mind.
You hear of the
Yeah.
Convery method where you declutter your clothes and all, but here we're talking about the mind. So these are some of the topics that are coming up, and we have scheduled. And Xiao San is also planning something interesting when it comes to the
Yeah.
body that we will reveal later on. So guys, thank you so much for hanging on with
Yeah.
us for the last 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Time
Oh, I
really
actually
flies.
learned a lot, from today's session, seriously. Like, from the craving part of things, and about the balancing of your food intake and stuff. I seriously learned a lot from that.
So
Yeah.
hopefully the next time we come in, we because this first show was just about provoking thought in all these areas. Next time we
Yes.
will probably bring Geeta and also Crystal back again, or maybe on their own to talk about something specific. So we have more time to touch point on certain elements. Like to be
Yes.
honest, we didn't have enough time for body, mind, or soul.
For
We need
three
more
of it
time
together, lah.
because the body is such a complex thing, the mind is such a complex thing, and of course
Agree.
the soul is like poof. So
Yeah, that's a whole new level. Like with your last statement you gave me, I also need time to digest. Now you know how it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, let's say good night to our audience, and we will meet each other backstage. So good night, guys. Bye.
Good
Thank you.
night. See you. Thanks for being
Yeah.
on.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.